Hello everyone, my name is John Rivera, and today we'll be reviewing stock data in our Tableau software. So as you can see here with our assignment, all we do is we click this link right here and it'll open up a data set, and all we do is we save that data set to our computer and we open it up through Tableau. And once you do that, your data is going to automatically pop up on your data source tab. And as you can see with this data, it is all Apple stock and it has all the data revolving that Apple stock. Okay, so when we go to our regression tab right here, the first step we have to do to find the regression tab is to find the log of our stock price, and then we find the log of the New York Stock Exchange price. Okay, and once you do that, it creates these two tabs right here. Okay, and what that does is it saves that data set. So this is only the log of the New York Stock Exchange price, and this is the log of the stock price right here. Okay, so once you've created those, all you do is you take the average of those. So you create a calculated field right here, and you take the average of that, and that'll be your independent variable. And then you take the average of the log, the New York Stock Exchange price, that'll be your dependent variable, and that'll give you this graph right here. Okay, and once you pan over this graph, you'll see the data right there. The R squared is 1. And once you go to the center, it'll show you the average of the log New York Stock Exchange price, the average of the log stock price, and it'll also show you the log stock price overall. Okay, so then we go to the stock timeline, and as you can see from this graph right here, we have the day and the date for our independent variable, and we have years for these tickers right here. Okay, but as you can see, we have the date as well. Okay, so you'll see how that works. And right here we have our average of our closed data. Okay, and that's going to be our dependent variable. So once you pan your mouse over the data, as you can see, it'll show if the data is the actual forecast indicator, and it'll show you the date, and it'll show you the data that associates with that date. Okay, and as we go up this graph right here, you're going to see how the dates are very easy to see and to find, even though the year tickers are very close together. It's actually very simple to see those dates. Okay, and once we get to the very end right here, as you can see, we have actual, and then once we get right into this little area right here, we have our estimated data. Okay, and as you can see in that forecast indicator, once I go into the dark blue, it gets into actual. Okay, and as we go into February, we have our estimate. And what this does is this estimate right here in our analytics tab, you click forecast just like that. This gives you the forecast of our data. Okay, and one of the best parts about this feature in this software is that if you're not sure what the estimated data sets might be for the stock, you can just simply download that data and you can put the forecaster in there and it'll do it for you. Okay, so right here we have our mean close price. So as you can see, we have our same thing right here. We have the day, date, but what I did differently on this chart right here on this graph is I actually put the date right here just to show that we have different ways of putting in these data sets. So if you didn't want to just have years at a time, you can actually show the month, the date, and the year, and it still is easy to see all the individual dates as we still have that day-date function on this graph. Okay, but I just wanted to show the versatility of the software and that you have more than one option. There is no perfect graph unless you want a graph in a certain way. So if you're just trying to experiment with different ways to show data, this is a great software to do so. Okay, and we have the average of the closed data. That's going to be our dependent variable right here. So as you can see, it's very similar to the last graph. You see right here, it's all solid values and it goes up. Okay, so next we have our standard deviation for our close. Okay, so we're going to have the same date for our independent variable, but I went back to the years just to show, for me personally, I like to have the years as the tickers because it just seems a little bit more clean than this right here, but if you're looking at data for a more specific time period, this may be the best option for you. Okay, so as you can see in our data, it has a similar trend right here, but different data sets. Okay, so this is going to be our standard deviation of our close price. So what you have to do is you have to take the standard deviation right here of the closed data, and once you make that right here, once you make that your dependent variable, you'll be able to go through the data like so. And as you can see, right below day of date, it shows standard deviation of close. So once you put that information of what your data is, even if your graphs are looking fairly similar, once you just put in those fine details, you'll be able to add as much detail as you'd like. Okay. So if you say, all right, well, I like all these individual tabs, but what if I just want to send one page? Or what if I'm doing a presentation and I don't want to go through all these tabs. I just want to have one page where I can see all my data. So what you would do is you would create a dashboard. Okay. So once you go to this screen right here, you have your dashboard. And as you can see right here, you have all your sheets that we reviewed. You have your regression, stock timeline, your mean close, and your standard deviation of close. So as you can see right here, we have our stock timeline. And one of the best parts about this is it is still active. So even though the chart and the graph is much smaller, it is still just as easy to see those data sets. And as you can see, this is very small relative to my mouse, this little line right here on the graph. Compared to my mouse, it's about the same size, okay? But we're starting off from January 23rd, and we're ending all the way at February 17th, okay? So we're covering a fairly large amount of data, and look how easy it is to go day by day. 14, 13, 12. So this is not a difficult software or a program to use once you know how to create your graphs. And I think that the best utility of this software is just the ease of demonstration and of presentation. Because a lot of times in Microsoft Graphs, it's very difficult to see the specific data set, but it's very good that we have a solution to that with this software. Okay, so as you can see here with these dates, because of the detail, okay, because we put in the month, day, and year, you're going to have all those tickers. Click on it. When you click out, those tickers go away, okay? And we can still see all the different data sets. And it is still easy to go through the data. Okay, we'll scroll down. We have our last graph right here. It's the standard deviation of close price. Okay, we have our tickers right here, just like the other ones. We can scroll through our data, and we can see all the specific dates and have all our data together in one spot. So again, that is the Tableau software, and that is the stock value that we've analyzed with Apple stock. And it is very simple. It did not take me much time to complete these graphs relative to what it may have taken on a different software program. So I would definitely recommend this program, and I would just recommend it for people that want to create, because you can never have enough ways to communicate data. So again, my name is John Rivera, and you have a great day.